class today, a couple of things to have before we get started. If you have something like a block or a book or even a blanket that you can fold up that we can use to help us with some of the poses today, that would be great. So you can go ahead and pause this and go get those items. And if you don't have those items, it's okay. You don't need them. It's just if you want some extra support through our class today. And then if you don't have a yoga mat, if you have a towel, or as long as you're on a surface that you're not going to slip and slide. And also, we are going to be taking flight. That's right, we are going to fly through some of our poses today. So it might be helpful if you know that you kind of wobble around on balancing poses to maybe be near a wall to help support you through some of those poses. Again, you don't have to. We'll have a great practice whether or not you have those items. So let's get started. We'll start with what's called candle breath. So come to sit down in a comfortable seat, and we'll bring our hands together, palms to touch, and then you're going to fold your fingers to where just your pointer fingers are touching together like a candle. So think about your birthday. You know how your birthday cake has candles and you blow them out? So that's what we're going to imagine that we're doing. So we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose and then exhale out the mouth like you're blowing out the candle. We're going to do that twice more. A deep inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. One more time, inhale and exhale. All right, we're going to move the candle a little bit further in front of us. So you might have to inhale a little bit longer and then exhale a little bit longer. So take a deep inhale and exhale. Twice more, inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. All right, now we're going to reach our candle out as far as we can. So remember, just like that last time, probably take a longer inhale and a longer exhale so that your breath can reach your candle. So we'll take a deep inhale and exhale. Twice more, inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. Release your hands down to your sides, and now just take a couple of breaths as you normally would breathe. All right, let's get started with our class. So we'll come to a standing position at the front of our mats. Our feet hips width distance apart, and a good way to measure that is you can take your fists together and put them down in between your feet. So that's your feet hips distance apart, arms down by our sides. We'll take a deep inhale as we reach our arms up, and then exhale as we forward fold, hinging from the hips, bringing our chest down towards our legs, placing our hands on our legs. Inhale, lifting your chest and head. So we're lengthening from our bottoms all the way to the crown of our head. So imagine you had a glass of water on your back and you don't want it to spill over. And then exhale, forward fold once again. We'll bring one hand down, the other hand down, and you'll step one foot back, the other foot back. Push your hips up and back into down dog. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. And as we do, you can bend one knee as you reach the opposite leg towards the ground, and then switch that. So inhale, exhale for 1, inhale, exhale for 2, inhale, Exhale for 3. Bending your knees. Walk your feet up behind your hands, placing your hands on your shins. Inhale the half lift, so reaching from our bottoms to the crowns of our heads. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reach all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, release your hands down by your sides. So all those poses together are called sun salutation. We're going to do that twice more. So we'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to our shins, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the ground. One foot back, the other foot back. Hips up and back into down dog. Taking 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Start to bend your knees and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Hands on our shins. Inhale to lift our head and chest, looking forward. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, lift up all the way, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, hands down by our sides. We're going to do all that one more time. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands on your shins, looking forward. And exhale, forward fold. Hands to your mat. One foot back, the other foot back. Reaching your hips up and back into down dog. Staying here for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Bend your knees. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Hands on your shins. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching your arms all the way up overhead towards the sky. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Great job. Remember, during our practice today, this is your practice. So if anything doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it, or if something feels really great, you can just do that for all of our class today. So this is your time. You make it how it works best for you. All right, so we're warmed up. We're ready to go for our class today. So let's reach our arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. And we're gonna grab opposite elbows with our hands and just sway from one side to the other side. And notice how your back feels. If it feels tight, if it hurts, you can bend your knees, and that can release pressure off of your back. If you want a deeper stretch in your back and the back of your legs, you can straighten your legs as you do this. And we'll stay here for a couple of more breaths. Release your hands down to the ground. Inhale, arms all the way up. And we're gonna grab our right wrist with our left hand. So I'm gonna face you. And we're gonna reach all the way over to the left. Pressing down through our feet. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Coming back to center. Release our arms down by our sides. Inhale, both arms up again. And this time we'll grab our left wrist with our right hand, reaching up all the way as high as we can, and then reaching over towards the right. Staying here for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Coming back to center and releasing our arms down by our sides. We're going to work our way down to the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. hands on the ground, we're going to step one foot back, coming down to our knee, and the other foot back. So we're on hands and knees. We're in what's called tabletop position. So you want to make sure that your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Remember how earlier I was talking about imagining that you had a glass of water on your back? So we're lengthening our spine, stretching from our bottoms to the crown of the head so that that glass of water doesn't fall off of our back. All right, we're ready to get moving. So we're going to take our left foot and bring it in between both hands. Now you can keep your hands on both sides of your foot, or if you want to bring your hands up to your knee, or you can bring your arms up overhead. And we're in what's called low lunge. So looking forward, we'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2. Now you can stay here, or you can bring your hands down to your knees, flipping our toes on our foot that's behind us, and we're going to push up and straighten that back leg. So our back leg is up off the ground. You can keep your hands on your knees, or you can bring your arms up overhead, and we're in crescent pose. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Looking forward, inhale, exhale for 1. And if your front knee hurts, you can straighten it a little bit, or you can bend it more if you want a bit of a deeper stretch. Just make sure that it's pointed towards the second or third toe. And now is our time to take flight. So if you want to take flight, we're going to lean forward and start to lift your back foot off the ground as we come into Warrior 3. So you can have your arms in front of you. If you want to be near a wall to help you with support, you can do that too. Arms can be out by your sides, in front of you, and see, it's okay to stumble or fall. Just make sure that you don't have anything around you if you fall that could hurt you. And then inhale, come back up to stand at the front of our mats. And we're going to do that all over again. So you stay where you're at. I'm going to move so that you can see me do this on the other side. So inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to come back into tabletop position. So on hands and knees. And we're going to bring the right foot this time in between both hands. We can keep our hands on the ground, on your knees, or up overhead into low lunge. Looking straight ahead, we'll take 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale for 1. Inhale, exhale for 2. You can keep your hands where they're at or bring them to your knees. Your back foot, we're going to flip our toes under and lift that back leg off the ground, coming into crescent pose. So if you want to keep your hands on your knee, or if you want to have a hand at your wall for support, or you can bring your arms up overhead into crescent pose. Staying here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale for 1. Inhale, exhale for 2. All right, it's time for us to take flight on this side. So you can lean forward, and if you want, you can stay here, or you can start to push down on the front foot and lift the back foot up into Warrior 3. And it's okay if you stumble around. You can use a nearby wall for support. Arms can be out to your sides. They can be at your chest. or they can be up overhead. And then when you've had enough time flying, we'll come back up to mountain pose. Inhale and exhale, release your arms down by your sides. And take a moment just to shake everything out. After we had some time to fly that way, now we're gonna fly like an eagle. All right, so standing in the middle of our mat this time, and we'll have a little bit more support, so you can be near the wall if you want, or you can just stand like I'm standing away from it. So feet are hips width distance apart, so remember 2 feet between our feet. We're gonna press down on our left foot and lift our right foot up. And we're just gonna cross it over that left leg. And it's gonna be like a kickstand. So that's gonna be our support during this pose. So the toes on your right foot are gonna be on the ground. We'll inhale, arms up. And your left arm is gonna go on top of your right arm. Now either you can bring your hands to your shoulders, or you can try to touch both of your palms. And this might be really tight in your shoulders, so you can hold your shoulders like this, or if that's even too much, we can bring our arms out to our sides. Everybody feels different on different days, so be gentle with your body and do whatever feels best for you. So however your arms are right now, we'll bend our knees, and we're in eagle pose. So we're flying like an eagle right now. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale for 1, inhale, exhale for 2. So we'll release our arms down, uncross our legs, stand up tall, inhale, and exhale, release. So now we're gonna go over to the other side. So pressing down through our right foot this time, we're gonna bring our left foot to cross over the right. Oh, I'm already starting to fly a little bit. So your left toes are going to be on the ground, supporting you. Both arms come up overhead. So you'll bring the opposite arm on top, and you can either have both hands on your shoulders, both palms to touch, or arms out to your side like a cactus or a goalpost. Bending your knees almost like you're gonna sit in a chair. And we're on eagle pose on our other side here. So we'll take a couple of breaths. Inhale, exhale for 1, inhale, exhale for 2. Release your arms, uncross your legs, shake everything out. Take an inhale, arms up, reaching towards the sky, and exhale, forward fold. All right, so we're gonna go back to the front of our mats. Inhale, both arms up. We're gonna take our right wrist with our left hand and reach over towards the left, pressing down through our feet. And then inhale back to center. We're gonna do that on the opposite side. So grabbing our left wrist with our right hand, reaching up and over to the right, pressing down through our feet, and then inhale, coming back to stand. Arms down by our sides. We're gonna step our feet out to the long edge of our mats here and turn our left foot towards the front of our mat, or the short end of our mat. Arms out by our sides. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out by our sides. We're gonna reach as far forward as we can. And then we're gonna bring our hand either to our shin, our ankle, or on the ground. And our back arm, we're gonna bring down, forward and up. And we're in triangle pose. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale for 1. Inhale, exhale for 2. Put a little bit of a bend in your front knee, and we'll push all the way back up to stand. We're going to do that on our other side. So we'll bring the left foot to face the long edge of our mat. And now we're going to turn our right foot towards the short edge of our mat. So pressing down through both feet. And you can put a little bit of a bend in that front knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Reaching as far forward as you can. Bringing your left hand or your right hand down to your shin, ankle, or the ground. The back arm, you're going to bring down, forward, and up into triangle pose. Pressing down through your feet. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale for 1. Inhale, exhale for 2. Putting a little bit of a bend in that front knee. We're going to inhale, pressing back up to center, and then facing the right foot towards the long edge of our mats. Now you can either bend your knees and jump your feet together, or bend your knees and walk your feet together. Whichever way you want to get back to the front of your mat works best for you. All right, now we're winding down our practice. We're going to work our way down to the mat where we'll stay for the rest of our time. So one more time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping one foot back and then the other foot back. And we're going to come to sit on our heels. And then from here, bring our legs out in front of us. Okay, so if you have your block or your blanket, these next few poses you might want to use the block or blanket for, and if you don't have them, again, it's okay. But if you do, I'll let you know some ways that you can use them. Okay, so we have both feet on the ground, our knees are bent. We're going to go into what's called boat pose. So bringing your feet back as close to your bottom and having your hands on your knees. We'll lift our heels up off the ground, so just our toes are touching. Now start to lift one foot off the ground and then bring it back down. Lift the other foot off the ground, bring it back down. Now lift one foot up, and you're going to try to balance on your bottom, bringing your hands down by your sides, and bring the other foot up. So you're in boat pose here. Now if you want a little bit of support, you could bring that blanket under your feet or the block under your feet, or bring the feet down to the ground, whichever way you want to do it. So you can have your feet on something or off the ground. Now your hands are down by your sides. You can bring them out in front of you if you like. And we're going to stay in boat pose for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. We'll bring our feet down, hands down, and take a breath. You might have felt some tension in your stomach. You're using your abdominals for the boat pose, or in your legs. So next time you do it, be mindful of how it felt and what you were doing this time, just like in any pose. All right, so from here we're going to go into turtle pose. Okay, so we'll face the long edge of our mat, and our feet are going to be on the ground, so knees are bent. Inhale, both arms up, and then exhale your palms down, and you're going to bring your elbows in between your knees. So we'll take your your left hand, and you're going to bring it under your left knee. You're going to take your right hand and bring it under your right knee. And then bring the soles of your feet together and rest your head down in your feet. Now, if that's too far for you to go down, you can bring your block or your blanket over you to bring the ground up to you. Alright, so one more time, you just grab something to put over your feet. We'll bring our elbows in between our knees. One hand under one knee, the other hand under the other knee. Feet to touch. Inhale. And then exhale, bring your head down to your feet or your block or your blanket, or your head can hover. We'll stay here for a few breaths. And as we inhale, we'll lift our head up. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. All right, this is kind of tricky to get out of, so we'll inhale and then walk our hands up and then guide our knees together, remove the blanket or the block. Great job. Okay, we're gonna do another version of that. We're gonna take it up a notch into flower pose. So we're gonna fly again in a different way than we have before. So you wanna keep your blanket or block nearby, and let's go ahead. If you have either one of those, we're gonna set our feet on top of it just to start with, and if you don't want to use it, then we'll be lifting our feet up, so you can either keep your feet down or lift them up, and I'll guide you through. So feet on your block, blanket, or ground, knees bent. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to our chest. Knees come in between our legs. Our left arm comes under our left knee. Right arm comes under our right knee. And our hands are on the ground. So pushing your hands down to the ground, you're going to lift one foot up and lift your right hand up if you want, or you can keep it on the ground. And then lift your other foot up. Oh, it's a little tricky. And so your arms can be out by your sides, or you can have them down on the ground, feet together. And remember, you can keep your feet on the ground and lift your arms up, or have your hands down. But this is called flower pose. So however your flower looks like, it's beautiful. So we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale. Exhale for one. Inhale. Exhale for two. So if your feet are off the ground, slowly lower them to the ground. Bring your hands down. Shake everything. Give everything a shake. All right. So this brings us to our last pose before we begin our relaxation. So we're going to come to lie down on our mats. We're going to lift our left foot up off the ground and cross it over our right knee. We're going to bring our hips out to the left and our knees come over to the right. So we're in what's called a lying twist. So arms can be up overhead, out to the side. And if you want, you can take your right hand on your knees if you want them to come closer to the ground. Or if you want to put your blanket under your knees to give you some support, you can do that too. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Okay, so we're slowly going to bring our knees back to center. Uncross your legs. And we're going to do that on the opposite side now. So you stay where you're at. I'm turning just in case you're going to look at me. Okay, so this time you're going to take your opposite leg
and cross it over your knee. You're going to bring your hips out to your right, and then bring your knees over to the left. Arms can be up overhead, out to the side. You can bring your left arm on top of your knees, and you can also put your blanket or block under your knees for support. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale for 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Uncross your legs. Extend your legs out in front of you. Arms can be anywhere you want, either out by your sides, up above, or you can have one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. So we're going into our relaxation part of our class. You can keep your eyes open, or you can look up above. And just settle into your breath. So focus on each inhale and each exhale. Returning your breath to your natural pace, so how you naturally breathe. We're going to imagine that we are walking in a garden. It is a big garden. It has lots of beautiful flowers and plants. And you walk up to the biggest, most colorful, beautiful flower you've ever seen. And you go to touch that flower, and on the flower is a little raindrop. And when you touch it, it begins to float. And it grows in size. It's this huge bubble that is as tall as you are. And when you touch that bubble, you go through that bubble. And then you're in the bubble. And the bubble starts to carry you up off the ground. And you start floating. And you float up above the garden, and now you can see the entire garden, all the beautiful flowers, all the plants. And then you start floating towards your home. So you see your city, you see your school, and you feel, even though you're flying, you feel safe, you feel happy. And then you are now over your home, and your bubble starts to come down. You start to lower to the ground until you're standing in front of your home. We'll take a moment here again to focus on our breath. On each inhale and each exhale. We'll start to wiggle our fingers and our toes, moving our arms and our legs. Slowly roll over to one side. And gently bring yourself back up to a seated position. And that's our yoga class for today. Thank you so much for joining me today.